Good, everybody. I'm Dylan Rehmer from Skood Music. I just landed an exclusive interview with Illz from Grindtime now, so check it out.
What's up, everyone? I'm Illz from Grindtime now, world's largest hip-hop battle league.
So, who are you and what do you do?
I am the owner and creator of Grindtime now, which is the world's largest battle league.
Today you are rebuilding Grindtime. What exactly happened?
We weren't ready for the position that we were put in. We blew up way quicker than we thought we would, and we weren't ready. The business end of what we had going fell apart, and a lot of our partners just became uninterested with the direction that we were going. And now we have everything put together, so that's why we're starting back from the floor up.
How has the lack of loyalty affected the battle scene, like as a whole?
As a whole, with the battle scene, as far as loyalty is concerned, it definitely shoved some of the better names into one particular direction. But as a whole, I don't feel like it's affected the battle scene too much. I mean, right now as we stand, the culture of battle rap is way bigger than it's ever been. And who knows, it could have been because of Grindtime's weak structure that we are in the place we are today, which is way better than this time last year.
What was the lowest point for Grindtime?
I feel like the lowest point for Grindtime was at its highest point. Last year, we were invited to tour and have our own stage at the Rock the Bells tour. Both of my partners, Direct Lush One and myself, and that's where we really were able to get together and tour together and air out all of our issues, and that's where it definitely started falling apart.
Man. To
the point where I knew that either I was going to step away or Direct or Lush was going to step away.
So essentially Rock the Bells was when you knew things had to change.
Right.
How close were you guys to just being done?
We got extremely close to just calling it quits, all of us. Once one of us wanted to leave, and then the other one would talk to the other partner in private saying that they wanted to leave. You know, we didn't too much have a solid goal, and the three of us always had different ideas, and we're always tugging at each other. So that's the reason why it kind of went the way that it did.
What is the status of your relationship with your former business partners?
We have a good relationship. You know, we don't diss each other or talk crap about each other on the internet. We just don't talk anymore.
Pretty much you guys got a handful of MCs to the point where they're at, you know, they're on a different level now. They're more looked at, and overall they're just more famous than they were before Grindtime. What is your reaction to artists branching off of Grindtime?
Any of these artists that branch out, it's a good look for our culture. You know, we're not going to last forever. URL's not going to last forever, and neither is King of the Dot. There's going to be something else that comes along, and whenever these guys get an opportunity to bring themselves out of what it is, like let's say Dumbfounded, you know, he does a lot of music now and he's highly looked at, but he respects where he came from. I feel like a lot of artists should be doing that. You know, they go on to TV, the Jimmy Fallon show, onto BET, and they're battling and they're doing the freestyling, they're doing tournaments in Canada, and it's really an overall good look for these guys to branch out and do other things. So I feel great that these guys have that opportunity.
What can you tell us about Grindtime's new emerging league format?
I feel like the way that we're heading right now with the new format we have is how we should have had it all along. You know, first and foremost, the 5-on-5 format isn't something that is permanent. It's just a project. You know, we want to have like almost a season of this happen. Just a few battles with some teams, and that's it. We go back to throwing our events. So it's not something that's forever. But the newest format that we have is that if you're new to Grindtime, if you try out, you only go for 2 rounds, 60 seconds. Once there's a little bit more of a demand for you, or you're a little bit more seasoned, you'll go into do 3 rounds, 60 seconds. From that level, you climb up to 3 rounds, 90 seconds. And then after that, you should be in demand, or if you're climbing the ladder properly, you should be in demand. And that's where you could do unlimited rounds or promo battles. So I feel like instead of, because Direct created the tier system for battle rap.
Okay.
So I think a lot of guys got so caught into being top tier and turning into divas and mid tier and whatever. I felt like that was kind of a bad way of separating everybody. Now you actually have something to work for. You know, you're working for 3 rounds, you're working for more time, you're working to be promo. So you kind of know where you're at without having to demand it from somebody who's unnecessary to do it for.
At what point did you know that you would have to rebuild your league from the ground up? And what's it been like so far?
Right before I made the decision to shut down all the divisions is when I knew that we had to rebuild. You know, the battlers, they'll always be there. They live in those states. Mm-hmm. So I knew that we would be able to come back to them, you know, but I just knew that was going to be the best way to do it. I can continue to stay with a broken company and a bunch of general managers who don't necessarily trust the system that we created, or I could wipe it all out and start all over again and still have the relationships that I have when I tour and be able to bring those back into the mix later on. So that's what we're doing now.
What problems did you guys encounter while rebuilding?
The hardest thing that we've encountered while rebuilding is to reintroduce ourselves as trustworthy content providers, right, to the battle rap market, and have these guys come back and say, okay, you know, we'll give you a second chance. I mean, it's starting to happen now, but that's probably been the toughest thing.
What new partners and employees have you brought in since last year, and how have they helped Grindtime in its return to prominence?
In the past year, I was working heavily with Mers. Mers really, I have to actually thank him. He's the one that actually gave me the confidence to keep moving forward and push it. And he's a really busy guy, so there's not too much of any kind of talks that we have anymore. I mean, I would still open the doors of my company to him as a partner. But that guy really helped us out. Then we had Felony Fights come along with Jerry Heller, who's real legendary. They want to expand Grindtime, utilizing, you know, their market, which Felony Fights a lot of time gets bad slack. It has a bunch of people, you know, fighting in backyards and stuff. But what people fail to overlook is that Felony Fights has recently brought themselves to a professional market where they're fighting in cages, and they have events like pay-per-view events set up. So they're helping us out in the West Coast. And then we also have New Sig Mu, which is a team of, you know, videographers. There's, you know, graphic designers. It's an entire team. I met an MC by the name of Circa, who tried out for Grindtime, and he introduced me to these guys. So that's the direction that we're moving with them. They bring a lot more quality, because when I lost all my partners, I lost everything. Like, I was the one that was filming the battles. I'm using my camera at the tryouts. That's my camera. It's dark, you know, the lighting is kind of horrible, but we're doing a tryout tour, and it's getting all messed up. But you know, these guys really step in and gave us a helping hand to push back to the next level. I'm also working with a guy by the name of Lethal Lines, Desmond, who he started a league. Those are the battles that you see in the barbershop. And basically he decided to kind of close down his league and work with Grindtime. We got the footage and we were able to put it out. I recently started speaking with Grouchy Greg, who's the owner, the creator of allhiphop.com.
Oh, that's good.
And that's one of the largest sites, one of the largest hip-hop sites in the world. So we're going to explore our options with allhiphop.com. I'm a big fan of Grouchy Greg, so it's almost like a dream to be able to work with a site that big.
Yeah, that's sick.
So I think we're going to move forward and try to do something with them. And also with, of course, through Mers, we were introduced to Guerrilla Union, who throw Pay Dues Festival, Rock the Bells. I love working with those guys. You know, them and Red Bull, of course, helps us out. So those are pretty much the key players that are behind Grindtime now.
What has changed about the battle scene since the beginning of the year, and how does it affect your mission?
I feel like the battle scene in the past year hasn't changed too much. There's just a lot more battle leagues out there. But I feel like some of them are kind of behind the curve. Everybody wants to throw a big event. Everybody's focus is on throwing a big event. It doesn't really change our mission, because our mission is not to throw the biggest event. It's to still be able to provide great content in the form of battle rapping, but we're taking a different avenue with what we do. We're being more creative with it. You know, our mission is not to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on an event that as a company we know that we can't make back. You know, sponsors are great. Like, I tip my hat off to the other leagues that are throwing huge events, like, you know, the cannabis situation, the Summer Madness by URL. Like, that was a big event, you know, but you come to a point where, you know, the crowd wasn't too pleasing with the way that the battle went down. And when it gets in front of something that big and you have a lot of hecklers and a lot of things can easily go wrong, you know, you gotta ask yourself, do I want to throw another event this big, or how can I change it? Like, what we want to do is just be more creative with our content. That's why we have the 5-on-5 league. I want to get these guys, brand them, get them paid, you know, and I feel like the loyalty will return when these guys know that, hey, we're spending our time and our efforts on one particular person or one set of guys and pushing them through a project. Then we have our reality show that we're doing and other projects that we have coming along the lines. Like, doesn't change our mission at all.
How do you feel Grindtime has contributed to the current state of battling?
Battle rap has gone through many different cycles over the years. It was extremely popular, and then it would die out and come back and die out again. And we came into a point where it was about to die out and raised it to a level that it's never been in the history of hip-hop. Grindtime is the reason why there are leagues. There used to be just tournaments that were thrown. There were like, you know, Smack DVD, they had the street battles. The essence of the street battle wasn't created by Smack. It's just that during that time it was popular to do battles over beats, and we decided, hey, you know, we want to do battles that are a cappella with no beat. We want to do street battles. And my partner Direct, he loved the Smack battles. He loved watching a league that Pat Stay came out of. That's where he kind of got his inspiration to start what he started. But I didn't watch Smack battles, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't really fond of the format, the a cappella street battle, but I seen where it could go. And now you have everybody following the Grindtime format. You know, the way they do the intros, the names that pop out, like, none of that existed before Grindtime. None of it, you know, so it wouldn't be where it's at. And even nowadays, I feel like, from a technical standpoint, the battle rap community is way behind. And I feel like Grindtime is going to be able to usher in a lot of new things, along with King of the Dot and URL, that the rest of the leagues are going to be able to use, and it's just going to continue getting bigger. Battle rap is not going to die out for a long time.
So do you feel there's a lack of awareness of Grindtime's contributions to the current state of battling?
I definitely feel like there is, being that it was our company that opened up the market, that brought in things that were never being done before, that there should at least be a little bit more respect, you know, paid towards Grindtime. Grindtime doesn't mean Mad Illz. Grindtime doesn't mean Direct or Lush One. It means a movement in battle rap that really brought in a want for more of a skill level in hip-hop. The biggest hip-hop stars today watch battle rap because of what Grindtime did. Because it put a battle rapper from around the corner that wasn't signed to a label, you know, it put the next guy wanting to get on that stage, on that platform, you know. And then you have URL did their event, and, you know, Diddy was there, Q-Tip was there, you know, Busta Rhymes. even when we go to Rock the Bells, all kinds of artists coming up to me saying, I love watching Grindtime. I love this, you know, like they don't say I love Mad Illz or I love this or that. They love Grindtime. They love the movement. And I feel like if a lot more people were able to set aside animosity between companies and look at it as something that we're all doing for the culture as a whole, that it would get even bigger. You know, you would see these major artists battling and being at the events more often, you know. So I definitely feel like there's still a lot of room for it to grow, you know.
So where do you see Grindtime next?
The next step for Grindtime, we've done the largest hip-hop festivals in the United States. We've been, you know, we've had events in South Africa, in Australia, everywhere that you can think of. Every major city in the United States has had a Grindtime event. I feel like the next step for Grindtime is going to be on the major network.
Where do you see Grindtime in the next year, and how are you guys going to get there?
In 1 year, I feel like people are going to be able to trust us again, to be able to watch our videos and say, hey, I'm a fan of this. I think within the next year, battle rap fans are going to have more of an appreciation for the art rather than pay attention to the bickering between companies and you know, personal, you know, beefs within the companies. So
where do you see the battle scene next year, and how does Grindtime fit into that equation?
Next year, I see the battle scene incorporating a lot more celebrities. We've all been trying to do that ever since the beginning, and now that celebrities are being a lot more vocal about watching battles and attending these events and voicing their opinions on them, because Grindtime has done such a great job branding itself, these guys are going to start coming out and saying, like Jay-Z did, you know, I watch Grindtime, I watch these battles. I feel like in a year's time, when Grindtime has the respect back that it had once before, and it has the fans, and the celebrities are being more vocal about it, I feel like they're going to bring an all-new crowd to battle rapping, and Grindtime is going to be there at the top.
Pretty much wraps it up. Is there anything else that you would like to address to the fans?
I would definitely like to thank the fans, you know, the ones that are there sticking around, even the ones that are causing any kind of commotion. Like, you're still putting us in the eye of a lot of viewers. I really thank you guys for supporting the battlers themselves and the movement. I definitely want the viewers to know that I'm a big fan of King of the Dot and URL and Flip Top and all of these other leagues that are out there. It's more about the culture rather than the battling, you know, like between the companies. It's not a competition between companies. There's enough companies out there now, and the market is big enough for everybody to make a living and survive off of it. So thank you guys very much, and please check us out at grindtimenow.net. We have all kinds of merchandising in the store. We have music. It's not just battling. Thank you.